You will drown in eternal night.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and to another Mortal Kombat mobile character review. Today we are taking a closer look at Tigrar Fury Goro or Tigrar Fury Goro, it depends on how you want to pronounce it. I will go with the Tigrar version. So let's jump right into the review. Tigrar Fury Goro is part of the Outworld class and his passive is called Born of Dragons. Combo enders and special attacks have a chance of a fire DOT effect. All characters that do fire attacks on Goro's team have a 25% chance of causing fire DOT to enemy upon tagging in. Tigrar Fury Goro was introduced with update 1.15 and he was always a challenge card. Back then he was maxed out with level 50 and fusion 7. Since the original days also the passive hasn't really changed that much, just a little bit of a change in the wording, but the meaning is exactly the same, so are the effects. In the old store he was available for 480 souls, but he is also a part of the challenge pack. But you also may find him in some different other packs, as well as a reward that drops at Season's End and Faction Wars. In the new store he's actually a little bit cheaper and you can buy him for 450 souls directly if he shows up there. After the level cap was raised with update 1.18, he was maxed out with level 60 and Fusion X. Goro's gear piece are the Dragon Fangs and they give you 15% X-ray / Fatal Blow attack damage boost, 15% damage boost for Goro characters only, and 25% chance to apply bleed to the active enemy at the start of the match. In terms of his feats of strength, he will have to perform 2000 special 1 attacks to unlock his rune. For his victory stances he has to win 750 matches in Faction Wars. For his taunts he has to perform 250 X-ray / Fatal Blow attacks. For the icons he has to knock out 500 Johnny Cage enemies. For the backgrounds he has to perform 1500 special 2 attacks. And for the titles he has to win 200 matches in challenge mode. So now let's take a closer look at the victory stances one by one, starting with the Displeased. Next we have Champion. Third would be the Dragon. And exclusive for Tigrar Fury Goro only, Unstoppable. And on your victory screen it will look like this. Now I'm going to show you all of the backgrounds. Next we have the icons. And finally the titles. Tigrar Fury Goro has two kinds of combo enders. The first one knocks the opponent down with the fist combination. The second one is a massive kick which also knocks the opponent down to the ground. Both of these combo enders can be chained. His special one is called the Flame Ball, and it has a damage effect tied to it. On top, it is capable of knocking out your opponent. His special 2 is called Dragon Torch, and it also has a damage effect tied to it. Just the same as with the special 1, this attack is also capable of knocking out your opponent. His X-Ray is called Spine Adjustment, and it has a power generation buff tied to it. This X-Ray looks exactly the same as the one of Classic Goro, and by the way also Shokan Warrior Kintaro. If you are a fan of fire, then his passive will be just the right thing for you, because you will be able to set opponents on fire by using combo enders, special attacks, and even tagging in teammates who have somewhat of fire abilities. So now it's time to recommend some gear again, and my first choice would be the Rusty Chainsaw, just to give him the block breaker and also the ability to cut power costs of special 2s in half. Choice number 2 would be the Bloody Shokan Armor, because it's absolutely fun to reflect back damage when you're playing a massive character like Goro. My third choice would be Moloch's Ball and Chain, for the simple reason that this equipment is very useful if you are focusing more on a special 2 attack based gaming style. And you will not only have the chance of a block breaking special attack, but also a chance to get special 2 attacks for free. My fourth choice would be his Dragon Fangs, and here mainly because of the extra damage boost they provide to Goro characters and also the X-Ray damage boost. But the winner in my book is Blaze's Life Force. Due to his already given fire abilities, you can amplify that damage with Blaze's Life Force as well. And since he can work just fine as a starter, he will also have a 100% chance to power drain. And at this point I would like to give a quick shout out to Dinesh, who suggested that I also show my favorite setup, and well, here it is. If Goro is not my starter, then I will go with the Rusty Chainsaw, Bloody Shokan Armor, and his Dragon Fangs. In terms of character recommendation, I would usually go with Mournful Kitana for the starting bar of power, or Sun God Godel Khan for the 30% attack to outworld characters, but for a character like Goro I would like to focus this time on characters who deal fire, because they complement that team especially well when you are playing with Tigrar Fury Goro. And my first character here would be Vengeful Chinook, who has the fire ability on his special 2. Next up we would have Possessed Kenshi, who has the fire ability on Tagin. Shokan Warrior Kintaro has the fire ability on his passive when he is retaliating, and also on his special 2. And of course there is also Sector Triborg, who has the fire ability on special 1 and 2. But the winner in my book is MK11 Scorpion, who has the fire ability also on Tag In, but also then sets the entire opponent team on fire. And as already established, if you are playing Blaze's Life Force, for example, you would have increased damage against every character who is burning. Goro is one of the most iconic characters in the Mortal Kombat universe. Unfortunately, I have to report to you that I'm not a fan of this card at all. For me, he plays way too slow and way too bulky, and for some reason he also dies very fast in most matches. Like if I really try to finish one entire battle just with using Tigrar Fury Goro, in most cases he will not make it to the end of a single battle. The situation is a little bit different if you mainly use him as a supporter card, but really as the main fighter I would have really expected more from a card like Goro. So my issue is not with the character, but more the variation that we got here. Of course, he is not the worst card ever, and you can use him on a serviceable level, but in terms of challenge characters, there are much better cards out there. So Tigrar Fury Goro, not really the best card at all. But let's get directly to the pros and cons and take a closer look. Pro number 1, strong special 1, it's okay, I like that. My second pro is the overall fire DOT, which is provided by his passive. I like that it even carries over to other teammates who have fire abilities, and that completely regardless of class. Heading straight for the negatives, the first con would be that he plays so slow. Many times I feel that I just get constantly interrupted, and that goes for the long breaks between basic attacks as well as the block response. The second con would be that he has no unblockable attacks. I really feel that a character like Tigrar Fury Goro should have at least one unblockable special attack. They did that quite nicely with the classic Goro variation, but in the gold variation it is totally lacking. My third con would be that he is absolutely useless if you don't play him with a block breaking weapon, especially when you are playing without a block breaker for basic attacks. It feels like almost impossible that Goro gets a hit in. And of course I am exaggerating here, but it really feels like that he really becomes useless without it, and that makes him a character that I play very rarely. As a final rating, I would give him a 4 out of 10, which puts Tigrar Fury Goro on the same level as Shokan Warrior Kintaro, and funnily enough, Shokan Warrior Kintaro got the minus points for being a Tigrar Fury Goro clone, but at least he has an unblockable special 2 attack, which is enormously important for a character like that. The design is fine, but they could have done so much more with Tigrar Fury Goro, and instead we got kind of a very lame version of one of the most iconic and important characters the Mortal Kombat universe has to offer. But yeah, that was Tigrar Fury Goro in a nutshell for you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this little review. Right now, at the moment of this upload, the game should be already in maintenance, preparing for update 2.7 to launch. So let's have a little bit of patience and see you on the other side. Because right after the update dropped, I will make a video on the first look of update 2.7. Thank you for tuning in once again, and as usual, I will be back with the next video very soon. Until then, you can choose one of the 2 videos that are up here right now. Please like, comment and subscribe. And also don't forget to click the bell notification icon so you will be informed every time when I upload a new video. Take care, Casey over and out for today.